This is the WASD and Beyond podcast. Welcome to the WASD and Beyond podcast. This is Movie Man Matthew here, hosting as always. And with me is my good friend, Nick. Hi, Nick.
How's it going, everybody?
How you doing, man?
Good. I always crack up during your intros, as everyone's going to be able to start to see, says you put up the YouTube channel.
Yeah, finally.
So that's dope. So everyone can see me start to crack up when Matt does his little intros. I just can't help myself. It's just funny the way you do it. So.
I don't plan it out, and then we hit record, and then it's just like the first thing that comes to my mind, and I hope I don't fuck it up. It's, we should really start putting a little more thought into this. We never do, though.
We should probably think it out just a little bit more.
We think it out, and then we don't actually prepare, It's like, oh, this would be cool to do. And then it comes to us like, oh, were we going to do that? It's like, oh, yeah, fuck it, I guess.
Do it live, I guess, type thing.
Exactly. Just do it live.
So how's your week been, buddy?
Actually, it wasn't too bad. Worked a fuck ton. I think it was like 9 or 10 days in a row before I got a day off. And then that day off was just catching up on all the yard work. But actually wasn't too bad, all that aside. Yeah.
A new TV of yours is dope.
Yeah, I got a new TV, got it mounted on the wall and everything, and then with the soundbar system, the bitch is fucking loud.
It looks I can't wait to come over and watch whatever movie we're gonna watch. Yeah, eventually we're gonna watch a movie together. Is what I'm alluding to do an episode on, and I can't wait to do that with your new TV. So,
I watched the very first movie that I watched was Saving Private Ryan in 4K, and I just full blasted it in the middle of the day. Oh, it was prime, dude. Prime.
That's like when DVD first came out and the big tube flat screens and the surround sound came out. My dad got the biggest screen you could fucking get. The most surround sound that it all fell out of the back of a truck. You didn't buy that shit. It fell out of the back of a truck. And the first movie that he played throughout the house, which shook the fucking house, was Top Gun.
Nice. That could be sweet. I could see that.
That bitch was roaring. I was like, what the fuck is happening? But it was like, this is the future. I guess so, man. Fuck.
I was playing some music earlier when I was working out, and it was just throughout the house. Just you heard all of the bass, all the vibrations. It was incredible. And then I went outside and I was like, maybe it's a little too loud.
That's the best though. If you don't live in an apartment, so that's
right.
You're already on top right there since you don't live in an apartment.
Mm-hmm.
It's your house, zoning hours. So you could be a good neighbor, or you could just be a shithead and be like, "This is my new shit. Fuck you. I don't care."
I see it as long as I'm doing it in the middle of the day, I can be as loud as I fucking want. Right? That's when I play drums. That's when I listen to loud movies and music and shit like that. Obviously, I'm gonna respect the fact that it's still very fucking loud later at night. Maybe don't do that. But yeah,
just fuck it.
What about you though? How's your week been? What you been
doing? Pretty good. Get a little nervous with this PUA bullshit because that's obviously due to COVID. I lost my job and then I had to leave a job for reasons due to COVID and some other stuff. But I did upgrade my computer from a Ryzen 1800X to a Ryzen 3900X.
Very nice.
Got new RAM.
Also very
got nice. A new AIO, and the AIO is so fucking extra. It has an OLED screen on it, and right now I have Gary Bunda from Your Pretty Face is Going to Hell just on loop, doing air humping.
Wait, you have that? That's just a GIF on your AIO screen?
Yeah,
that's awesome. Mine doesn't fucking do that.
$200.
Really?
Asus
that's
ROG
kind of expensive, but still considerable.
Honestly, though, man, my computer's been at a 30 Celsius.
Hmm.
When I was playing Tarkov earlier, it went to 45 and didn't go higher. And I was like, what? I was like, what in the fuck, dude? It's worth it. I'm not getting paid by Asus to say that. By the way,
I
we're not.
fucking wish we were getting paid by Asus to say that. Asus, pay us. We'll say anything. We don't care. Give us
Not everything.
give us your money, please. Sponsor
Everything I got's fucking Asus,
us.
except for my monitors, which I'm probably gonna upgrade eventually too.
I'm a pretty big Corsair and Logitech guy.
I
Yeah.
do that, but that's more
Well,
peripherals.
yeah, yeah. No, I don't. I didn't think the Logitech
Corsair
ones
makes
were.
a really good AIO
Corsair is
though.
most of my stuff. Yeah.
The H100i is a very good AIO.
Hmm.
But yeah, the RAM I got is fucking beast. It's the last thing I got to upgrade is the graphics card, and I'm not doing that until the 30 series come out. Literally until like the 30 series is hit, and I might even wait till the supers, but we'll see. Because at that point, I won't have to upgrade this fucking thing for years to come.
Right.
Except for an M.2. I need to get an NVMe, but that's besides the point. I'm getting a little extra right now,
That's all right.
to
That's all
say the
right.
very least.
I
So
still have all of these fucking. Speaking of, I've been wanting to get a new computer case because mine is just so fucking bulky. And then
well,
I
you've had that since you've built your computer, right?
no, it's this is the second case. So
Uh
since the very first one I had was just like a pre-built, kind of shit.
yeah, yeah.
Um, but this is like the first like custom one that I bought and built, myself. Um, it's still really, really, really fucking big, and I don't. I'm tired of hauling it around and trying to move it everywhere, you know.
Right. Yeah, well,
But
go to a mid.
this is a mid. It's just a big mid. Yeah, it's a mid tower.
That's weird. That's weird that they classify that as a mid.
I didn't believe it
Whatever.
either.
Whatever. It's not my fucking gig, dude. I don't get to classify the shit. So, but
Anyways, yeah, let's
yes.
get going on to going on.
Do you want to
Uh,
go with your story first?
sure, I can try to.
Yeah.
So well, first things first. Uh, Destroy All Humans is now on Steam and can be pre-ordered. I am stoked about that. It
Yes.
looks
Yes.
it looks awesome. Very
Oh
excited to
yeah.
play that. That should be coming out here in like the next week or two, I think.
I believe so. I believe so. And I hope it does well, because if it does well, that means we're gonna get a new Destroy All Humans game. And
Please.
if that game does well, that means there's gonna be games like Stubbs the Zombie and
Yeah,
like
you brought up. Speaking of, sorry to cut you off.
oh, you're good.
You never showed me Stubbs the zombie after the last episode or the last time
I
we
need
talked about it.
I need to show you Stubbs the Zombie. Stubbs the Zombie is a very fucking fun game. It's not like Destroy All Humans at all, but they're like the same like goofy like not arcadey, but just like the goofy fun games that came out on the Xbox, like the original Xbox or 360 or whatever, what have you. They're awesome, and I hope more games like that come out. Because I don't know, dude. Like, how many Call of Duties can we really keep playing and without having like a little break in between where it's just like a goofy, fun game like Destroy All Humans?
Oh yeah,
That's all I
yeah,
want. I just want something fun and goofy here and there. I'm with it. I'm cool with it. Like,
me
just give
too.
me something fucking fun
Yeah, you
and
just
destroy.
good to
Yeah.
go and fuck around and open sandbox and fuck shit up.
Well, I hope they allow for mods,
Oh, that could be fun. That could be really
because,
good.
like, obviously, like I said, like the goofiness is sweet, but I would like to see like modders throw in like a super mature version of Destroy All Humans. Like, you're a fucking alien, dude. You're destroying all humans. A
Yeah,
little bit of gore would go a long way with me for that game.
or a lot of gore would go even further.
See, I'm trying. I'm hedging my bets here. I would love a lot of gore, but if I say a little bit, maybe they'll just be like, "Okay, fine, we'll put in a lot of it." You know what I'm saying?
We'll have to see. I want to see like being able to like fucking crush someone under like intense pressure and just like yeah. I want to see I want to see the dirty stuff. I want to see the
Oh
real
yeah.
the real fucked up shit like that you would be able to do as an alien
Oh yeah, dude. That'd be
instead of
fucked
just
up.
like picking someone up with like a grav gun and throwing them, you know.
Which is still sweet because the
Yeah.
physics were sweet.
Oh, definitely.
So yeah, no, that's fucking.
Hmm.
Now I'm getting hype on that. I want to play it.
Only a couple weeks, a little
I
bit
know.
longer. Um So the other thing that I wanted to bring up, I forgot to bring it up last week on the last Beyond episode, but um, Doctor Disrespect was banned from Twitch,
Yeah.
which
Yep.
like isn't super. I mean, it's kind of a big deal. Like they signed him; he's like a big name and everything like that. But the real weird thing is that like we nobody still has any idea as to why it happened.
I don't even think he knows.
No. Like from the way that he's like described it, like he doesn't have really any information either. They're still trying to get it figured out. Like that's weird, right?
It sounds insane to me that you would essentially punish one of your bigger streamers without telling them what. It doesn't make sense. It really does not make sense. But I know he's supposedly hopping over to YouTube.
That's a possibility, yeah. Ninja's
So I
been doing
wonder,
pretty good over there.
well, yeah. So I'm wondering if something behind the scenes happened where maybe he was in discussions with YouTube to buy out his Twitch contract, maybe. You know
Okay.
what I mean?
See that, and then they caught wind of
They
it and
caught
just
wind of
like
it.
immediate termination type of deal.
Watch us be right. You heard it here first.
That's an interesting theory. That is an interesting theory.
Well, from a business standpoint, that I mean, if they caught wind of that, that's total. It's like
That's completely against your contract.
exactly. So that's like if you like have a radius clause for your company and you literally go to a different company, it's like, well, you get sued for that type shit. So I'm wondering if
Right.
that's what happened. If Doc was in talks with YouTube and then somebody was like, hey, this is happening behind the scenes,
Mhm.
Twitch finds out, boom, you're gone.
It's an interesting theory. I don't know if that's actually the cause of it though, because you look at something like Ninja and Shroud when they left for Mixer, right? Like to be in talks with like interviewing and talking with another business doesn't necessarily give the right to termination,
Well,
unless I
after
mean,
those
that's
two
of course
left,
could be in the contract. You know,
it could have been renegotiated after Ninja and Shroud left.
it is
They
possible. Yeah,
Twitch could be like, dude, we just lost two of our biggest money makers. We can't have you guys keep jumping ship. So in your contract, blah 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 blah
maybe.
blah. Who knows?
Yeah,
Who knows?
I don't quite know how contracts work. I mean, I was wrong on the idea that Ninja and Shroud contracts would be null and void, and they wouldn't get any money if Mixer went under. And
Yeah, right.
that was wrong.
Yeah, right.
They
30
made a
million
lot
and
of
10 mil.
they made a lot of money.
It's insane. It's
Yeah,
insane money.
that's incomprehensible money.
I wouldn't know what to do with that much money.
No,
I'd probably blow it in a day somehow, though.
I don't think. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, that is a lot of money. I don't know if you could actually blow that without buying like a private jet or something. Right. If you're talking about like you're trying to spoil yourself on a moderate scale, like buy yourself a cool house, buy yourself a cool car, new PC, all of this cool, crazy collectibles, comics, you still got you're still gonna have millions left over, almost
You might have enough to
guaranteed.
pass around still, too.
Right. You got enough
Who knows?
for generations and generations. Your kids are set for life if you're smart about it, and then
Yeah,
your kids are gonna be set for life. That's generational wealth if you don't blow it on something stupid, you know.
right. That's
So
true.
that is an incomprehensible amount of money. That really is.
Yeah, I can't even fathom it.
No,
But like I said, I guess we'll see what goes on with the doc. But I think he's going to be hopping over to YouTube.
most likely, yeah. I don't.
So
There's really no other big competitors at this point. Now that
I've heard
Mixer's going under, there's no real like staple site to like rival rival Twitch, you know?
no, but I've also heard rumors that those three are going to make their own platform. I, dude, there's a lot of shit being like said right now, and if that happens, I'm curious about that.
Yeah. That
That'd
could
be
be
very
interesting.
it'd be very interesting to see those three do it. So
We'll have to
who
see how
knows?
it goes. You know, there's really nothing we can do other than speculate and wait.
Right, right. Who knows? Who fucking knows, dude?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
It was just something weird that like I've been seeing, and I figured we would have found out more information by now, like almost 3 weeks after the fact, and still nothing.
Yeah, it's still everything seems like it's up in the air and no one really wants to talk about it. Everyone wants to talk about it, but the people who should be talking about it don't want to talk about it,
Right. Not
which is
until
very
everything is fully settled and
yeah.
legal matters are taken care of.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens with the doc.
Yeah.
So the Xbox conference is on the 23rd.
Yeah, that should be a couple of days from after we record this, so
Before we record this.
a couple of days after we record this episode.
Oh yeah. Yes, yes, it's coming out
That's
before the episode. Yes,
right.
I'm excited. I'm
Yeah.
excited to see more on the console. I'm excited to see the new Halo, and that's about it.
Are
I
they going
don't.
to be showcasing the new Halo?
Yes,
They did.
they're they're showcasing the new
Sweet.
Halo. More on the console and more Xbox game studio stuff
Mhm.
that they haven't shown off yet.
Right.
So, I mean, to me, Halo would probably be the biggest moneymaker that day. Maybe a new Gears.
Could be.
I know they're doing like a Gears Funko Pop game. Dude, I don't know. They're doing a lot
That's
of weird shit.
that's the
We'll see on the 23rd. We will see on the 23rd, and you guys can expect that. God damn myself! Hit the fucking mic. You can expect that to be an episode.
yeah. I'm looking forward to it. I'm
Yeah,
excited to see what Microsoft is going to bring to the
yeah, it's gonna
table.
be insane.
I'm interested to see like I've seen rumors about how there's going to be multiple different like new Xbox like next gen consoles and
Yeah,
how the is it called the Scarlet? What is the big fucking one called? It's just the
Project
Xbox.
Scarlet.
That is what
That's
it's
the
called.
Series X.
Series X is what it's called. Okay. No, I mean there's been rumors that like there's going to be a different version of a next gen Xbox. So that would be interesting to see. Not even so much of like a, like the PlayStation where it has like its Pro almost and then like the regular version, like the discless and digital edition and then the regular disc drive.
Yeah,
I'm like they could have just like a completely entirely different system. That could
right.
be cool with like
Yeah.
different hardware and everything like that.
Oh yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, and so with the Xbox conference, there's a few like I don't know. There's really not that many like exclusive titles that really jump out to me from Xbox, other than like say your Gears and your Halo, where I'm really excited about like a new addition to it. Like I'm really rooting for Microsoft to like come out of the what woodworks with like a fucking big hit,
Right.
coming up because like I just feel like the Xbox doesn't have that many great exclusives. I hate to say it, but it just feels like that. You
They got
know,
Halo.
they got Halo,
Okay.
and that's about it. Like they got Forza as well. They got Gears, but compared to just look at Naughty Dogs alone as a studio,
The Last of Us,
everything. Yeah,
Uncharted.
Tomb Raider, that right there, those three alone.
Then
It
you got Sucker Punch,
mhm,
Infamous, and now Ghost of Tsushima.
yeah,
Like, it's tough, man. Like, there's a lot of cool shit on the Xbox.
there's just nothing like big. There's not a
Well,
lot of things that are drawing people to the console, it feels like.
well, I feel like all they've ever banked on was Gears and Halo.
Definitely. Halo was the what started the company and
Yeah,
made it to where it is today, and they're still continuing to try to like leech off of it, even though it's not quite what I would like out of the franchise anymore.
no, it's not. Hopefully this, hopefully the new Halo can really deliver, and that's what my fingers are crossed because the last couple of Halos I did not like. I
No.
just didn't. I
Halo
wasn't a fan of
4
them.
wasn't like horrible. It wasn't great, but you could see that it was going in that direction. I remember when we played it, like
Yeah,
when we got it on midnight release, and we played it, we're like, okay, it's not bad. It still feels like Halo, but there's a lot of things in here that I'm already starting to dislike that are from like other games and make it
Call of
not
Duty.
feel like that. Yeah. You
I
had
don't need
different
loadouts in
class
Halo.
loadouts. Yeah. You had different class loadouts and different abilities, including like sprinting and stuff. Like you don't need that. You just run around, you jump around, you shoot people. It's Halo.
And you collect weapons, so just
Mhm.
do it. Speaking of Halo, Halo 3 is now on PC.
Yes, yes. I've been wanting to buy that.
I can happily say it runs phenomenally and it plays very fucking good.
Is there a lot of bugs,
Nope.
any crashes you've experienced,
Nope.
anything like that? That's good.
No.
That's
No.
good.
The only thing that happened the other day was I alt tabbed. And any game's going to do it.
Well,
It's just
not any game.
not it kind of froze the shit a little bit
Yeah.
and I had to fix the problem. Not a big deal in my opinion. It's shit like that happens here and there.
Small inconvenience, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it plays wonderfully. It was very fun. It's been very fun, and it reminds me of when I was 14, sitting in my mom's basement in a townhome that all of us stayed in that we barely fit in, just playing Halo. Like it was a fucking blast. It's
Yeah.
been very fun. So, um,
I'm looking forward to playing,
I,
and I want to
I would
buy it
buy
here
it.
soon. Yeah.
I would definitely buy it because I can proudly take back a little bit of what I said about this collection so far, with Halo 3 coming out. So,
Hmm. This
um,
is what I was waiting for. Had no interest in really anything other than like Halo 2 and Halo 3. So,
well, two and one, I think are awesome games. Obviously, I love both those games.
yeah.
But you try to go back and play them now, it's like, dude, they are dated. They didn't age well. And even with Halo 3, you can say that. But Halo 3 is just the formula is just so perfect.
Yeah, they had time to, refine and improve upon it, and
Yeah,
that's for me kind of like the best version that Halo could be, you
yeah,
know.
absolutely.
It kind
So
of that was the apex, and then it's going downhill now with the new
343,
trilogy.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. But yeah, Xbox Game Conference, Halo, and
Here's
the other it's Scorpio, Project Scorpio, I believe it was called.
I have no idea what that is, but
The
um
the other Xbox you're talking about, that's going to be there.
oh, okay. Yeah.
I think it's Scorpio.
That looking forward to hopefully seeing what that is. We'll have to find out.
Maybe it won't be a fridge.
Yeah.
I like the
Maybe
design though.
it'll be the microwave.
I like the design. I like that design. It's
No, it doesn't
simple.
look bad. I really don't. I don't hate it, and I like some of the mock alternate art like additions that you could do with it. Like
Oh yeah,
there was like a Diablo 2 one. Oh, it was so
yeah.
fucking dope
It was
looking.
badass.
Um One quick thing also about the Xbox conference. So EA usually kind of pairs up with Microsoft, right? With a lot of like their exclusives and not exclusives, but those like deals, Oh, you
Yeah,
get cooler stuff on Xbox versus whatever. Um Anthem has been a shithole since it launched, and they're planning to redo the entire game. I'm interested to see if we're going to see anything about that at the Microsoft
they're
conference.
redoing the entire game.
They said they were going to rework the whole Anthem game from like bottom up, yeah, like complete redo, not just like touching up, shit that's broken, like completely
That's,
rebuilding it.
that's why you don't fuck with the devs, dude.
In all fairness, it was the devs' fault for Anthem. They had 7 years
Really,
to develop that game, and for 5 years they did nothing. When they released the E3 trailer, that's when the development team was like, "Oh, that's the kind of game we're making. Okay, let's get to it."
so
5 years of just like nothing, and
you
then
had 2
EA
years of
was like,
crunch.
"Yeah, that's why the game was so shit." They had so much time. Like that's completely understandable that EA is like, "Okay, guys, you've had 7 years. Like, show me what you've got," and then they just fall through. Did nothing. That's
That entire team should be fucking fired.
Yeah. I
Not
don't
my
know if they
place.
did. Probably
Not,
should have been though. Yes.
not my place to say.
Hmm. So,
Um,
but that is that is what EA has said about it. That they're planning to remake it or rebuild it to try to make it better and try to revive the game.
it'd
So
be
I'm
cool.
interested to see if something about that is going to be shown at the Xbox Games Conference.
It'd be cool
Hmm.
because it'd give that game a whole new breath of life, and on a new generation of consoles. Because it was supposed to be like, this is the game for this generation, and it's like, oh,
Right.
didn't really pan out. So
The
you can just throw
visuals
it to
of
the
that
next.
game are phenomenal, right?
Yeah,
Like,
it's still really pretty. It's
yeah.
just that,
So
but it turned out to be a Destiny clone.
yeah, with a lot less content, pretty much.
It was like Destiny 1.
Yep, pretty
So,
much. Anyways,
um,
so sorry that I cut you off there. I just kind
oh,
of thought
I
about
don't-
that as a point before we moved away from the game conference.
yeah, no, absolutely. Um, I got two more things I want to say, then we're gonna hop into the main episode.
The main
Um,
Toporino.
so Death Stranding came out on PC. I may have talked about it last week. I don't remember. Whatever. I got two people I didn't think were gonna get hooked on it, and I'm so fucking stoked on that. Literally, Evan and Julian have been playing the fuck out of that. Julian beat it in 30 hours. I was like, because he hardlined through the main quest,
Yeah, it didn't do a whole lot of the side stuff, I'm guessing.
which makes the game actually a little bit difficult for you. You want to spend time kind of doing side quests and like reconnecting the chiral network and all that shit. Um, Jules literally called me. He's like, "Holy fuck, the twist!" And I was like, "Yes." And then Evan, he was his parents were in Grand Rapids, and it was on Sunday when the storm was really bad. And
Hmm.
Evan's been playing it on like a supercomputer, like it's a supercomputer he's been playing it on. So he calls his parents like, "Yeah, it looks like it's gonna get really bad down here in Grand Rapids. You guys should probably hunker down." They're like, "No, we're on our way home." It's like, "God damn it!" Like he's just trying to like do whatever he can to keep them there so he can keep playing on that computer. But yeah, Death Stranding's out on PC. If you have if you're playing on PC, get it. You might like it. It's it's about the story. The story is what it keeps you playing.
As I will say with every single game, whether I enjoy it or not, whether I find interest in it or not, please do your research before you just blindly buy a game.
Yes,
Make sure
yes,
that the game is
especially this
something
game.
that you would be interested in. Do not just
Especially
blindly
this
waste
game.
your money. Yeah.
The last little bit of side topic I wanted to bring up was I did buy Ghost of Tsushima. It's sweet. It's fucking really cool. It is really cool. Um, the PS4 I'm on can't really handle the game though.
It's
So
not
if
the
you're not,
pro.
I'm playing it on a Slim. So if you're not playing it on a Pro, I don't know. I don't know what to say. It doesn't really play well.
Hmm.
It plays fine, but there's a lot of frame drops that I'm not used to because I play on PC and
Yeah.
because I built my own computer. So I my computer can play anything I want it to play at max settings and be fine. This game is very, very beautiful when it wants to be. If you're playing on a first gen PS4 or a second gen PS4 or whatever. I wish I were able to experience it how it's meant to be played. And I think if it were on PC, I'd have a better time. That's my only gripe. If I were playing it on my computer and I was actually able to play it at more than 30 FPS, because people are like, oh, you don't know the difference. Yeah, you do. You can definitely see 30 compared to 60. It's how
Yeah.
smooth the game is being played and how it's running. It it's ruining the experience for me, and that
Hmm.
is a bummer because I I love that type of shit. I love that culture itself. Like I love samurai and all that. Like I love it. And this game is everything I love about that. And unfortunately, because I don't have a PS4 Pro and I'm not going to buy it at the end of its life cycle,
Definitely not.
like that's the thing too. Like this game is coming out on the end of the PlayStation life cycle. So
Yeah.
what am I supposed to, like? If you don't have a Pro, why? There's no reason to buy a Pro now.
Hopefully, the PlayStation 5, you can, get that and then it'll be backwards compatible and you can play it at a, better quality.
Which
Maybe.
most games are. Last of Us 2 is doing that because
Hmm.
Last of Us 2 even was kicking the shit out of that PlayStation.
Yeah.
It was kicking the fuck out of it. But I'm gonna try to keep playing Ghost of Tsushima because I do what I have played and with what I am dealing with on that PlayStation, I am enjoying it. So if you guys are playing Ghost of Tsushima on a older PS4, like a Slim or whatever, let me know how it's playing for you. I am curious. I want to know if it's playing like fucking dog shit for you.
Right. Or
And
if
like
it's just your computer,
right, because I
your
don't want
PS4 is just kind of like dying.
right, I don't want to write it off, but at the same time, I can kind of see it being a wide issue. Like It's on the cusp of next gen.
Yeah. It's probably
So
gonna push the latest gen of PlayStation to its limits, you know, and when you have the
yeah.
earlier gen and not as good of tech, or it's kinda wearing down, you are gonna notice those quality differences, like you
Oh
were saying.
yeah.
Especially when you're, I wouldn't say spoiled, because like, it's a very high entry point to get into PC gaming, but once you
Yeah.
go to that and you're having, consistently very high frame rate, like 60 FPS to 100 FPS isn't that noticeable, right? You can play games perfectly fine 60 to 80 FPS, not have a single issue with it.
Yeah.
But 30 to 60 FPS is such a massive difference,
It
especially for
is.
your eyes visually. That's why like 60 FPS is kind of like that.
It's a sweet spot.
Yeah, that's like your bare minimum you want it to be able to play at and still have a very smooth looking like good quality game, especially
Yeah.
because it just matches with the 60, the standard 60 hertz refresh rate of monitors and things like that, or
Yeah.
TVs.
I would
That's
love
kind of
this.
like that. Yeah.
I would love to see this game being played with my new Ryzen and my 144 hertz monitors curved. I would love to fucking see it.
Yeah.
I would die to see it. So
Well,
please, that thing we looked up earlier, I know,
I was
but I
just about to
couldn't.
bring that up.
But I downloaded the fucking software and I couldn't see that. I didn't see my game library.
Yeah, you may have to like contact support or something. There's apparently now like you can now, I guess, play PC game or PlayStation games on your PC through PlayStation Now, but essentially it doesn't like, it's not like a port or where you're able to play it at the computer's maximum, right? You're not able to utilize its full power. It's
Right.
essentially just like, hey, here's the gameplay of what it would be like on a PlayStation. Now it's just streamed to a different device. So you're still getting the same 720p, you know, 30 FPS lock, 60 FPS lock, or whatever it is, and when it's streamed. So that's like the only real get around to play it on PC right now, and it just was weird. And as Nick was saying, he even tried it because he has PlayStation now, and it wasn't even working for him.
Nope. I couldn't find it. Because I'd like to see what The Last of Us looks like on my computer too.
Oh, I can imagine that game looks so fucking pretty, dude. It
Dude,
looks so good.
it's beautiful. Okay, before we do move on, if you're bitching about The Last of Us still and the story and how the characters end up, and you're bitching about and Dina, you're a fucking douche. Stop bitching about Ellie being gay because now you can't have a crush on Ellie. You can still have a crush on Ellie, but
They
I
don't have
guess
to have a crush on you.
it's a fucking video game character.
Yeah,
And by the way, she was 13 in the first game. You're fucking weird. Stop it.
super weird.
Fucking stop it. And stop messaging the voice actors and Neil Druckmann threatening them. That's just it's idiotic. I'm sorry.
I
I,
had no idea about any of that. That
oh,
is
dude, look it up
way too extreme.
after the episode. Look it up. It's gonna piss you off.
Speaking of, like, there's people even for something like Escape from Tarkov, people send death threats to the CEO of Battlestate Games because they make changes to the game that is going to improve the overall quality of it. Like, how it's a video game. It's not
Yep.
that big of a deal, people. Remember,
Yep.
it's just pixels on a screen for entertainment.
And video games can be art. It can be fucking art too, man. But like, it's not your painting. It's their painting. They're letting us fill the painting in, essentially. Like, stop, because you make us all look stupid when you threaten a voice actress, the woman who plays Abby.
Hmm.
I forget her name, unfortunately, and I'm sorry for that, but nasty shit, nasty shit. And the chick who plays Ellie and Dina, same shit, homophobic, just insane shit. Like, what are you thinking? Anyways, that's a whole different fucking episode. I'm sorry. You said
It's
The Last of
just,
Us, and I thought about it, and I'm like, dude, like I can understand not liking how the game turned out because there was points where I was like, dude, I don't want to do this.
yeah.
Like, I don't want to get too much into it because I'm sure there's people who are still playing it. But I understand. But dude, what did you want? Okay. anyways, anyways,
Yeah.
we
My
should get on to that.
my one comment is gonna make them completely take all of the games off the shelves, completely redo it, and then send it back out to everybody in my
The way I,
image.
the way
How
I exactly.
about we just skip that part and you just learn to make your own game, and then you can make the kind of game you want to play?
Every
Hmm?
time someone does that, it
Huh?
always turns into Super Columbine RPG or something like that. Though.
You're right, and that's not a good thing. But
No.
then people just don't buy it, and they waste years. And yeah, I would
By the
say
way,
people don't buy it because some people would buy games like that. But we're not going to go into
it exists. The game
that.
I just said does exist, and it's a Pokemon event esque adventure. Anyways, this that's it for our side topics. This week's episode is about video games that are based on movies
Not to be confused with video games.
that are
Or
turned into movies.
yes,
There you go. This is, anyways.
we did a episode on this a little while ago, and Nick told me to do the research for this episode that we're now doing now. So
Yeah, I always screw Matt over just a little bit. I don't mean to do it because he's usually the main researcher, which I've said a million times. Anyways, so we can plainly say that the same standard for the movie adaptations usually go for the video game adaptations.
usually not that fucking great.
They're
No.
not that good. But then you get these diamonds in the rough.
Yes, there are some good ones in there. That's definitely for sure.
The first one I want to talk about that I know you've played and I've played is Spider-Man 2 on the PlayStation. You
I did
didn't play
not
it.
play that. No. Nope, fuck me.
You're a
Sorry.
sack of shit.
I didn't I never played. What do you want from me? I'm sorry that I didn't play that on the PlayStation 2. I didn't fucking know. I was like 10, man.
Matthew. It was great. It was a great game.
I got to
That
play a
game
little bit of the new one. That was
that
awesome.
that game was fantastic.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's based on the movie though. It's not.
It's not it's a yeah.
Whatever. So you had like Spider-Man 2, which was like the standard, I would say, for video game movies that are turned
Of
into
that
video game.
time, yeah.
Yeah. But then you get like Mad Max, which was fucking dope. That game was open world Mad Max. It's
I watched people
not
play it.
as big as I would have liked it to be, but it was dope. Like the open world concept of that game was sick. There was a lot of collectibles. It was super fun,
Mhm.
and yeah, no, Mad Max was a great example of how to do it right. A bad example of how to make these games would be like the Friday the 13th game.
Yeah. It was
Y-
mm, it,
It,
it had a shaky launch, you could say.
it was completely fucking broken.
Yeah, shaky. It's whatever. It's
That's
fine.
more
It'll
than
it'll
shaky.
it'll get worked out in like a year. It's fine. Give us your money now, though.
All of it now.
Yeah, all of the
Like,
money now, and then we fix it later because you gave us money.
there's literally games like that, though. Like Friday the 13th, it's like, okay, like, it's already been done. Friday the 13th was made for the NES, I believe, by LJN, I believe the company is called. I literally used to watch Angry Video Game Nerd for fucking hours, and I would learn all these fucking useless information about video games, and it's all left my brain because of how much alcohol I've consumed in my life. But so Friday the 13th, it just was not good. This game was not good. It was not fucking fun. It's like a Dead by Daylight type of game,
Yeah, it's the
but
killer versus the group of survivors.
or like you like Evolve,
Hmm.
like one versus fucking many, and that's like another game that we'll bring up right now. Since we're talking about this type of game, Predator
Predator
Hunting
Hunting
Grounds.
Grounds, because that was a fucking peach.
That was, I've had people defend it and tell me like, no, it's actually pretty. I'm like, no, there's nothing. It's a Predator game. How do you fuck it up? How do you fuck these games up, dude? Like, it's a simple concept. You're the Predator. You got 5 Marines. Take those Marines out. You're the Marines. Take that Predator out. I don't want AI running around the map. For what? That's stupid. Side objectives? No, thank you. Throw me into the middle of a fucking city like New York and have it open world and
That'd
have
be
the
sweet.
Predator fucking jumping rooftop to rooftop hunting me.
That would be pretty gnarly. Could you imagine like a 1v20?
That's what I'm
But
saying.
you're like an actual jacked up supercharged predator.
Or you can do like fucking 3v50. So you got 3 predators hunting, and you got 50 fucking marines.
I
Not even marines, just fucking
People with
whatever.
guns, whatever, civilians. It doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't fucking matter. It's
You
it's
can have
the
like the marine
concept.
class and all that. Like you could have like marine class, guerrilla warfare class, fucking whatever.
Just your
But like
medics and civilians, and people that
exactly.
they aren't there to fight. They're there to either A, like, distract, or B, just like, slither away and escape. Be the little rats that they are.
Right. Exactly. And that's the problem with these like Alien versus Predator games, which is another game I want to talk about in a minute. There's actually 2. We're gonna go from bad to good in a minute now. Alien versus Predator games, I don't understand how difficult, and I've bitched about this before on the podcast, but I really don't understand how difficult it is to make an Alien versus Predator game. They made one in the early 2000s, mid 2000s, whatever, for on GameSpy, Alien vs Predator 2, and the online for that was fucking dope, dude. It was dope. You had aliens, predators, and marines. If you chose the alien class, you started out as a face hugger, and then you had to hug onto a marine or a predator, and then you become a chest burster, and then you're a little worm, and you just keep going until you turn into an alien. That's fucking. And then one person gets to be the queen, so you get this like. There's just so much. The predator weapons were dope, and now you just don't get that. Which leads me to this game.
Yeah, that actually sounds kind of fun. I'm not gonna lie.
It
That
was
like
that's
that
why
like scale of progression of like you start at the bottom and you're working your way up and shit,
as the alien.
and becoming more and more powerful as you do. Like,
Yeah,
fuck yeah, that's dope.
and you can use the fucking like the mouth. Like that's one of your attacks. Your tail is an
Really?
attack.
That's
Yeah,
sweet.
you can climb walls as the alien, go upside down, and then drop. As a predator, you got cloak, you got your discs, you got your spears, you got your wrist blades, you got your shoulder cannons.
Yeah, where is all of that stuff?
You don't get to do that in these new games. But like an Alien vs Predator 2 in the mid 2000s,
You got to do
that
it.
was online, 40 people servers,
Yeah, how do you regress so much over like a decade and a half almost,
which leads me to this game, Alien Colonial Marines.
Ooh, you had to bring that
Holy
up.
fuck, dude.
You had to
And
bring
like,
it up.
these aren't direct. Some of these that I'm going to bring up are not direct adaptations of a movie, but they are video. They're video games based on movies.
Like a
So
movie
like,
franchise and stuff like that, kind of like
yeah,
that Spider-Man that I brought up earlier that you shut me down on, it's no big deal, whatever.
I would say
Not
it's
gonna
more
worry
on the
about
comic. I would say it's more on the comic.
it. There's been like 3 fucking Spider-Man trilogies, okay? Like, don't give me that shit. There's okay, the video game franchise. Yeah.
Fine. Anyways, though,
I win.
Alien Colonial Marine. Whoa, that was a fucking dumpster fucking fire. That one dude fixed by fixing a random bug. The AI
Really?
was just, yeah, one player went into the code, found the problem. One problem that had the game all walked out. Yeah,
That
not
sucks.
fucking with you because it destroyed the AI in the game. The AI was so stupid that ruined the game. The game had more issues than that. Like when you first see the game being teased, it looked gorgeous. It looked
Oh
like it
yeah.
was going to be this huge fucking thing, and you start to actually play the game. There's nothing there. It's shallow. It's empty. And like I said, there was a bug in the game that one dude fucking fixed. One dude patched the game. One guy. Fucking A.
Can you imagine both those scenarios where you're like, why does this game, like, you're the sole guy, right? You're like, why
Mm.
does this game run so terribly? Well, I kind of know about this stuff. Let's look through the code. Oh, yeah, here's this weird thing that's out of place. That seems like that would affect this system, which
Hit the
then
delete
affects
button.
this system. Yeah, let's just fix that real quick. Oh, look at that. Everything's brand new. Everything's
Yeah.
looking great. And
The
then can
AI
you imagine
actually,
being the development team? Like, how the fuck did we miss that one little tiny thing? Like,
yeah, Peter in QA is out of here.
yeah, that was your section, Peter. You're fucking fired. Look what you did.
Oh man. But that leads me to another Alien game that was actually really, really fucking good. and that's Alien Isolation.
Now this one I did play, and this one I kind of wish I didn't play because it made the
It was
poop leave my
terrifying,
buddy. Yeah, it was
but like
horrifying.
it was so scary that they put it back out in VR, and dude,
Oh, oh, that is
yeah,
mean.
yeah, dude.
I would totally smoke a joint and play that, and then
Oh,
just
dude,
you'd just hear me like crying, like, "Oh my god, I'm gonna die."
you know what we should do? We should set up your computer in the living room, have Julian bring over his VR, and we should just play Alien Isolation.
I would be so about that, except my computer actually is not VR capable, so
I'll bring
Julian would
my
have to.
computer.
Okay, that works too then.
I'll bring
Then
my
yeah, I'm
computer,
so down for that. Fuck yeah.
dude. That'd be sweet.
Only if other people are there. If I'm doing that by myself, that's not happening. Nope, I'm gonna be
No,
too
no, no,
scared.
no, no. You don't gotta do that by yourself. Um, that's gonna be sweet. So earlier when I said Spider-Man 2 was kind of like one of the best, I kind of lied because I would actually say this game is, and that's a game I know you have played, GoldenEye for the
It's
N64.
that's a good one. That's one of the OG ones.
Yes,
That's
which is getting a remake mod. There's a mod being made for PC.
that's kind of dope.
I can't. We'll look it up later. We'll probably look it up like after like tomorrow or something. It looks fucking sick though.
I
It
remember
looks
just
so sweet.
the like. Well, I do remember playing through the campaign of that. I didn't have the N64 myself, so I just had to like play it when I was at my friend's house at the time, or
Yeah,
my forced friend. My parents were friends, so our parents were friends, so we were therefore required to be friends because our parents were friends.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but yeah, no, we would play that quite often, and then we would also have like the multiplayer, like the free for all 4 player. That shit
Oh
was
yeah,
fucking revolutionary. It was incredible.
that
It's
was
the
that was
greatest thing I had ever laid my hands on. I'm like, what is this magic that you've been gifted unto me?
well. That was back in the day. It was like, stop looking at my part of the screen.
Yeah.
I'm not. You're looking at my part of the screen. No, I'm fucking not.
Can we
Like
just
that
bring up like all of the weird, crazy solutions people would come up with to like,
boxes.
yeah, like boxes across
Yeah,
the screens and shit? Or we had we had one where it was essentially it wasn't like an actual box, but it was just like this almost like plexiglass sort of, but not glass. I don't know what to call it.
yeah, yeah.
Um, to be honest, I don't know what it was, but it was literally like just propped up, and then one person was underneath on the bottom screen, and then the other person was back on the couch
Oh, that's
on the
funny.
top screen and shit.
That's funny.
Yeah,
So yeah, dude. That was like the golden age of video games right there, dude. Especially with GoldenEye. I don't know. I can't wait to see the mod, and I'm surprised. I think they actually tried to remake GoldenEye, and I don't think it did well.
I wouldn't doubt it if they tried to.
Yeah, I think they did, and I just don't think it did well. But
It doesn't seem like a game that's going to age very well. It's just one of those like iconic stepping stones to lead that led us to where we are now.
well, if you get a good team to design, if you get a good team to mod it and put it on PC, and like there's a lot. It'll be a dope ass arena shooter.
Yeah, I just think that like I don't know. I'm thinking of it more of like, they're just going to port it and make it look a little better and then put it on PC, where I feel like that just deserves the love of like an entire remake with like new mechanics and overhauling all of these systems and, bringing it to light in the new generation.
We'll see. We can see what it does. Now, is there any game on this list that you want to talk about?
I remember playing the Warriors video game. That actually wasn't too
Rockstar.
terrible. Yeah.
Rockstar,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's because Rockstar did it. Now,
Yeah.
don't get me wrong, it wasn't like top notch, but I played the game like just a couple weeks after I'd watched the movie for the first time. So
So you
I
were
was
hyped on it.
fucking stoked. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. And so it was actually pretty good with that in mind. There was actually quite a few references. I'm like, oh, I got that. I fucking got that.
Right.
Um, but all in all, I mean, it was just like it wasn't anything special,
It's
especially
kind
when
of
you
like a
look at
beat
it
'em up,
now.
right?
Oh yeah, it was just like your normal sort of like beat 'em up, but then you'd have to run away from these, the rival gangs, but they were all
Okay.
really easy to take care of. It'd be like, who was it, that fucking crew with the baseball bats that gang. I don't remember their
I
name,
know what
but,
you're
like,
talking about. I
you would
wish
have
I
to
could
fight them in, like,
yeah.
a baseball diamond, and there's, like, 40 of them, and there's, like, you and then, like, 2 of, like, your little AI guys, and it was just like nothing. You're just like, "Bah, bah, 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 get them out of here," and they're just
That's
like,
sweet.
"Whatever," you know?
That's sweet.
Mhm. Let's see. So a few of the Star Wars games, once again, it's not exactly like direct ripoff, like, "Hey, this is, A New
Still a
Hope
movie
video game."
franchise, Bubba.
Right.
Yeah.
Um, the original Battlefront series,
Oh yeah.
Prime.
Oh yeah.
New one?
No,
Mm.
no, another split screen goodie right there too with
Oh,
your
yeah.
buddies, especially Battlefront 2.
Battlefront 2 was the fucking best, and the Jedi lightsaber combat and the Sith and everything, the multiplayer, it was top notch. It was incredible.
It was fucking dope.
Yeah.
It was
I
fucking
remember
awesome.
being so let down when EA and DICE were like, "Hey, we're gonna do it." It's like, "Yeah, fuck yeah, it's gonna be dope. DICE is doing it. They're great."
Right.
I was so naive then.
Oh yeah, dude.
I'm trying to think. The Shadow of Mordor games. Those are good.
Yes. Yes.
Those are good
I so
ones, that's for sure.
so so I've only played the first Middle Earth game,
Mhm.
the Shadow series. I've only played the first one. I liked it a lot. I want to get into the second one. I really do because I want to see how that story progresses. So I need to play it. But that's a great example of
And
movie. Yeah,
done
it's a
well.
great
Yeah.
example. Fallen Order, by the way, Jedi Fallen Order, Star
Mhm.
Wars, top notch. That was another top notch game. That was
Isn't that like a
very.
Souls like game? That kind of like genre though?
It plays like it, but it's not. Like people are like, oh, it's pretty difficult. I'm like, no, it's not.
I mean, you compare it to Dark Souls, no. Like
No,
Dark
it's
Souls
not.
is I was actually just watching one of the EFT streamers that I watch. He's
Yeah,
been playing Dark Souls and he was fighting that fucking Hydra. And I remember when I was fighting the Hydra and you just kept falling off into the fucking water because you don't know where the ledge ends.
fuck that.
Yeah,
Fuck
it's the
that.
stupidest bullshit. So it's like, as long as there's none of that shit, I guess it's really not that bad. Like I can deal with it.
Yeah, no.
um, let's see. The Ghostbusters game.
Yes, 2009's Ghostbusters,
That
which
was a
had the
good one.
original fucking cast, and it served as technically the
Canon.
third movie,
Right.
technically speaking. So that is just insane. It was a super fun game because I remember there was I think a Ghostbusters game came out after it. It just wasn't up to. It was shit. I'm not even gonna say up to par. It was fucking shit. And I remember this game, and it was just like, wow, this game is fucking dope. Like I've always wanted to play, like you know, a fun ass Ghostbusters game, and that was the game. So,
Yeah.
and for it to serve as the third movie and have the original cast in it, you can't beat something like that. It's
No,
just
that was a
impossible.
fucking masterpiece. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um, I don't have too many other like games that to mention that are good games.
right.
I have a few that are bad though.
Should we finish out the good series then? Because I got a
Yeah, yeah.
I can bring up a couple.
Yeah, you go with yours. Your
Okay,
last
so
couple.
the last couple good games I want to talk about was definitely the Chronicle of Riddick, Escape from Butcher Bay. I remember renting that for Xbox because I saw not Perfect Dark, the Riddick movies. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, yeah. I've seen them.
Pitch Black,
Ah, yeah.
Pitch Black, and then I saw the Chronicles of Riddick, and then I saw this game on the shelf, and I was like, "What is this?" Picked it up, dude. It was a fucking dope time. It's kind of like stealthy, actiony game.
Hmm.
Fucking dope. Um, and then I remember playing X Men Origins Wolverine, which is way better than the fucking movie. I played that at a buddy's birthday. That was the only time I played it, but I just remember how fun it was. Just like because it was rated M. You were Wolverine in a rated M game, ripping people to fucking shreds. So that was dope. Um, and then last one I wanted to bring up that I can remember in my head is the Thing game. And the Thing is one of my favorite horror movies that unfortunately was remade, and the remake was shit. But
As
there was
most
a
are.
yeah, but there was a Thing video game, and it was very good. Very creepy atmosphere, very suspenseful, very tense game. And I just remember playing it. My dad was like, "There's no way you can play this game, dude." And I was just like, "I'm fine. I'm fine." It's like, "You're not fine. You got to stop playing this fucking game." But yeah, we can move on to the baddies because I want to. I think I don't know if you can see it on the list. There's a game here on the list that I want to save for the very very end.
Um,
Second from the bottom. It's right under the Bad Boys game. We're saving that for the end. That's gonna be the grand finale of the episode. Don't say it.
I don't know which one you're talking about, so I'm just gonna avoid like the bottom quarter of the list.
Yes, avoid the bottom.
Um, so first of all, one of the more recent ones was the Blair Witch
That was a
game.
fucking. You start it. Go hit it.
We
Kill this
were
game.
it was nothing. You were just walking around in a forest. It had really nothing to do with like the Blair Witch or anything like that. It was about this, soldiers or ex-soldiers, battle with his PTSD, which like, that's cool. It's not like it's a bad idea for a game, but it's just this guy lost in a forest and nothing really happens as he's lost. And it's just like, oh yeah, Blair Witch. We'll just throw the fucking title on there, and it'll sell. Like no, it had nothing to do with it. It didn't do anything to improve upon the story or even have like this remotely interesting news story. Nothing. It just like incorporated tiny little bits of that universe and element into the game, and then ignored it after that.
And I think there's people who actually like the game, which is fine. If you like the fucking game, you like the game. But how? How? What do you see in this game? Because we played it.
We played it for like 5 hours in your garage on the projector screen while it was nighttime, trying to make it as scary as possible. And we were all just like, this is fucking boring. This is
We got
dumb.
bored. The volume in the garage was loud for the game. The projector was not. It's not a perfect fucking projector, but the game looked great on the projector. It was
Yeah,
dark.
it was
It was supposed
great.
to be creepy.
It set up the atmosphere perfectly, and yet the game failed to deliver. Right? Initially, we were like, oh my god, it's gonna ramp up. It's gonna go so good soon.
It's a
Never
fucking
did.
Blair Witch game.
Never did.
It's like the new Blair Witch movie. All right, and even the original Blair Witch movie wasn't that great of a movie, but it was
No,
still pretty okay. And then they remade the movie, and that movie fucking sucked. Perry and I went and saw it in theaters. We laughed. People were getting pissed because we were just laughing. I'm like, I'm not trying to laugh, but like, it's that bad. they there's just games that I don't understand how, like, again, with the Predator series, Blair Witch, you could have made Blair Witch super scary. You could have made Friday the 13th a very, very, very violent game where you play as Jason Voorhees.
that would be terrifying. And then you'd get a couple of missions where like you're playing as someone running away from
Right. Instead
you,
of the
and
whole.
even like a situation where you're actually going back and forth between the person trying to run away from Jason and playing Jason trying to catch this person. That
Right.
could be a really cool scene and interaction.
Right. Because obviously,
But
like,
no, we're
the
just gonna.
multiplayer is the only part of the game. And yeah, you do play as Jason, but you don't. I don't know, dude. Like, I didn't feel badass. I didn't
No,
feel scary playing as Jason.
no. The
Like,
a lot of those like party games don't really hit the mark. Like you look at Dead by Daylight, and that's actually a really good example of like a well done game of that type where it's the
it's very
one killer
simple.
versus the four survivors.
Yeah.
And it's simple, it's to the point, it's got cool interactions and cool systems, but at the heart of it, it's just a very simple game, and they execute that pretty damn well. It's like the only one of those games that I'll play. And then you look at all of these other games like Predator Hunting Grounds and you know, ev-
Friday the 13th
Evolve, Friday the 13th, all these games, they miss the mark. They really do
each time
every time.
without fail. And the only other game I would say that did it well is Left 4 Dead.
I forgot Left 4 Dead did it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it was the first.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, that game was just incredible. Anyways,
I think of it as like when Evolve was like the first big one that was like its standalone and like kind of set that off, and then that was
yeah.
a huge fucking letdown. Um,
Yeah. And it just never got better from there.
right. Let's see. There was a couple of, I think, a couple of Fast and Furious games.
All of them are shit.
I could imagine. Yeah, I could imagine they're
Especially
pretty bad.
Showdown. Showdown had really Fast and the Furious Showdown had very bad bugs. The driving was impossible, and the act like I guess the voice actors were just like phoning it in. They're just like, oh yeah, the car will go. It's very fast. Careful out there. It's like what the fuck, dude.
Can you imagine as an actor landing a role in the original Fast and Furious movie and then finding out that you're stuck doing it for like 9 more movies, 4 different video games, all of these different appearances and cameos, like you're just like locked in already. Like you have no idea.
I think that's actors hell. Like you're just stuck doing Fast and the Furious the rest of your life because they are.
Yeah, pretty much. It was sort of like Tony Stark as Iron or Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark slash Iron
Yeah.
Man, right? Like like that's awesome that you get that role and it starts to take off your career, and then 10 years down the road, you're like, I'm really fucking sick of doing this. Can we stop?
Yeah. Then he plays Sherlock Holmes, and that movie sucks too.
That movie's great. What are you talking about? I
Whatever.
love Robert Downey Jr. As a Sherlock Holmes.
I do too, but it's not a great movie. Anyways, that's fine. That's fine.
We can
I
agree to
have
disagree.
ridiculous standards. Um, is there, is there any other games on the bad list you want to talk about?
I don't think so. I'm looking over the list right now and I'm trying to yeah, I don't want to touch on anything else. I will let you take it away, Mister. Since I'm gonna spoil it, something, whatever.
Oh my god. Okay, so to add salt to the wound, obviously the Catwoman movie was terrible, and then they come out with a shite game for the fucking movie that wasn't any better. So that's a bad fucking. That's just another example of like missing the mark. Like they knew before that movie was being released it was bad. Why would you think it was a good idea to even put a video game into production?
Because money. I don't
Bad.
know.
Fight Club, the game,
I
simple
didn't know
concept.
that there was a Fight Club game.
Yes, very fucking bad fighter. It's a very bad fighting game. It's but like
It sounds like it because I don't
the
like.
movie is so overdone.
Not only is the movie overdone, but like halfway through the movie, it's not even about the Fight
No,
Club anymore, right?
no,
It completely veers away from that. So you're either stuck in this video game where you're just following the events of the movie, or you're
yeah.
stuck in this whole like Fight Club, run around, beat people up for whatever reason.
Which you lose the point.
Right, exactly. So
So
it kind of is like that double-edged sword of like you're not really gonna win either way.
right, exactly. Um, this is a weird one that I didn't play, but I watched videos on because I was like, that's really odd. So in the '90s, there was a Street Fighter movie, live action, with Jean Claude Van Damme.
Was there?
Bro, are you serious?
I don't remember that. I've
Yes,
never
and
seen it.
I
So
don't think I brought. I thought I brought it up on the movie episode. I may not have.
we
It's
might have,
very fucking bad. It's
as as most video game movies are.
you and I will watch it. I'll let you just come over and just smoke a huge hog's leg, and then I'll just guzzle down some beer, and we will watch this Street Fighter movie. But they made a video game for the movie, so Street Fighter, the movie, the video game. Why? You already have the franchise,
Yeah.
and that franchise is already as confusing as could be. So now you're just whatever. Whatever. I'm gonna keep going. Keep rifling these off because we're down to the last 4 that I want to talk about. And Rambo.
Yeah.
How do you fuck Rambo up? That's another example of a perfect IP. It's a perfect IP to turn into a video game. It's just gore,
You're just a one-man army going around just fucking everything up.
dude. They could have literally stolen Turok models. You could have taken like Turok and made it more fucking like not or even more jungly, and just given him a bunch of fucking machine guns. Be like, all right, it's Rambo. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, cool. There's no dinosaurs, but I could tell it's Rambo, but it's kind of Turok. Like they could have literally just done that. I would have been fine with it. But no, it's a rail shooter for console.
Which makes no
No,
sense.
nobody wants to play that
No.
on a console. You don't want to play a rail shooter on a console. I'm sorry.
I
You
can't
just
remember the
fucking
last time I had to play a real shooter other than like arcade.
going to like Pinball Pete's in Ann Arbor.
You're right, and you're playing like the original time. What is it? Time Shift or Time Cop or something? I'm trying to remember what those games
Timefall? No, Time Shift.
was. It is it
Oh,
Time Shift?
I
Something
think so.
like
I
that.
think so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
those
Early
are the only
Jurassic Park
games.
game.
What was that?
Jurassic Park.
Is there a Jurassic Park rail game?
Yeah, and
Never
that game
played it.
fucking rips.
I never played it.
It's when we go to Pinball Peace when this pandemic is over, we'll play it. But yeah, why would you for a console game that doesn't make sense?
No, you
So
probably would have been better off with more of like a Call of Duty, right? Like you're just your one man army going through your the levels, just tearing up everything, and as is. And even if it was mediocre, it probably would have received better reviews than it was.
yeah, yeah, a rail shooter,
Yeah.
not your move. Um, so this is a twofer: the Matrix Online and the Matrix games in general. So I'll start with the Matrix games. They're all trash. That's all I'm gonna say about those games. The Matrix Online, though, I remember seeing that at Ed's house. His dad bought like the big box version, and it was like the Matrix meets World of Warcraft. Huge cities, huge open world city that you can go inside these buildings, and it was like Second Life meets World of Warcraft meets the Matrix. So like they were huge populated servers where people were like emoting in dance clubs and like drinking, quote unquote, like just chatting and like doing like Matrix missions and fighting and all this shit. And it was just so fucking bad because it was one of those games that where you could tell they wanted to do a lot, but at that time in gaming, it just wasn't ready to really come out.
Hmm.
And it sucks. It was so buggy. It was broken. A lot of the features that they were promising weren't coming out, and there was a subscription, I believe, to it as well. It was like a $20 a month or something. It was an outrageous subscription price, which I think is even for the World of Warcraft, $15 still is a little ridiculous.
Yeah.
In my opinion, it's ridiculous. Um, but yeah, dude, I remember wanting the Matrix Online to be just like the future, because when you think about the Matrix, especially like with a video game, it's like, well, that should make a good video game, especially like a huge open world MMO
Yeah, that could
where
actually be sweet.
where you're just essentially hacking other players and fucking with people and like doing crazy shit.
Hmm.
It should be one of those like futuristic games where it's like, all right, cool, this is like the next big thing, and it just was too ambitious, unfortunately. And I
Um,
think World of Warcraft was literally already out, so it was like everyone's like, nice try. Like you're not smaller studio. This is World of Warcraft. Get out of our face,
yeah.
type thing. So, um,
I would like
so
to touch on though that
hmm,
the very first Matrix game I did play,
yeah,
and see, I gotta say, it was probably one of the best games I've ever played, and I'm gonna tell you exactly why. You could go to the vending machines and make a soda pop out. And that was the first time I ever fucking saw that. Swear on my life, that was the first time I was blown away. I'm like, a fucking soda comes out when you hit the button. Oh my fucking god!
I remember doing that in Half Life too, and I was like, whoa! And then I hit E and I picked it up. I'm like, whoa! And then I like clicked and I threw it, and I was like, whoa! I was like, holy shit, dude! The small things that counted back in the day.
Right? Yeah. No, that was the first time I seen it. It like blew my mind. As for the game though, yeah, it was pretty like mediocre. It wasn't all
Yeah,
that great.
no, they were not great.
It's weird, and I think that there's a little bit of a trend in the bad games versus good, but not really because there is a little bit of overlap in what I'm about to say.
Okay,
So it looks like there's a lot more successful games based off of movies and movie franchises that thrive on the idea of, hey, this is set in this universe, but it's not really trying to like follow the story, right? It's
right,
its own
absolutely,
thing. It's just set in this universe, and here's a game. Here's gameplay tailored to this universe and this style, right?
right,
It seems like a lot of times when these games fail is that they're trying to stick way too closely to like the movies,
yeah,
which I don't need to play a game of a movie that I've already fucking seen, right? Like
No,
that
yeah,
makes no sense. Or B, they just kind of throw it into just like any type of genre that's popular at that time, right?
okay,
Like Alien or what is it? Predator Hunting Grounds. Instead of it being just like your, 4v1 or whatever and it could have been so much better if it was played into like an Alien Isolation type, right? You're
yep,
a person, you're running the fuck away from this thing that you have no
yes,
idea what it is. You're terrified. Or on the flip side, you could be the predator and you're just like you're going through this campaign or this story or like you're just like mowing down all these people and like there's a few other things that you could have done with it instead of just sticking that to the most popular formula at the time.
right,
Right.
exactly, right.
And
Because
I
there
feel
was
like that's where a lot of these kind of mess up.
they get stuck in like this small little rut, and they always try to do a rinse repeat formula, and it's like, dude, like this is why it doesn't work.
Right, exactly.
So, but there was a I forgot to bring up this Predator game. It was not very good. It was called Predator Concrete Jungle, but it was like the first time I can remember going, we're almost there with a Predator game. Like you were so close, but it's still you tried way you got way too ambitious and you tried too much. And that's where shit really gets fucked up. It's like you tried too fucking much or you didn't try at all.
Mhm.
And that's where it starts to be like, okay, well, it's all fucked.
Right.
So, um, so I have one funny title, and that is I never played this fucking game, but the title is just like Peter Jackson's King Kong, the official game of the movie. That's the title of the game.
Why?
Why did you you couldn't you just call it Peter Jackson's King Kong?
Yeah. You could have. You could have just named it King Kong based off the movie or some shit like that.
It
Why
had
does it
to
have
be
to be so extravagant and so precise?
it's ridiculous. I thought that was funny. That's why I threw it on the list. So the last game, which is not a good game, and this almost killed the gaming industry. This game is based on a movie that a lot of people love by Steven Spielberg, and this game has a documentary on it about because people will go to a landfill in New Mexico. They used to. I don't know. I think they dug them all up, and they'll look for copies of this game because the game did so poorly that and they thought it was going to do so well. And this poor dude who had to make the game, watch the documentary. We'll post a link to it on our Twitter. I don't remember the name of it, but there's a whole documentary on this guy on this game that they pulled it from the shelves and buried it in the landfill. It did so bad. And the game I'm talking about is E.T. the game for the Atari. This game almost killed the video game industry single handedly. Almost just killed it, strangled it to death. And it's just a bad omen thinking about this game. It's like wow, that's like it set the precedent for like what video game movies and movies based on games and blah blah would be, but it also kind of kicked the game industry in the ass a little bit too,
Mhm.
saying there needs to be quality. Like you guys just can't just pump bullshit out, expect people to just keep buying it. But I thought ET had to be on the list because it is just such a big part of history in gaming, and I don't. I wasn't not going to bring it up.
See, I've heard about it, and I've heard that about how terrible it is. I didn't hear about the fact where it almost killed the gaming industry. I would be
Yeah,
very interested into actually watching that documentary because
I am
that sounds like a
here.
pretty tall feat for. Well, obviously, I mean, the gaming industry wasn't as concrete and as how how would you say it, refined, as big as it is now.
Back then, no, yeah.
Right. So I could see how with it being so small and then something monumental happens that could almost topple it over. Um, but yeah, I did not know that.
So it's confirmed. So they had found 1,300 cartridges, right?
Okay.
It's confirmed that 700,000 copies of the game were buried, though.
Holy shit. There's a lot of copies left. We're going digging. We are going big, and that is going to be a relic that we can sell off way down the line.
Possibly, but the documentary that I'm seeing, I think it's correct, is called Atari Game Over, and that if it's definitely the same one. Very good, very good documentary. I would highly recommend you watch it. It came out in 2014, I want to say. Um, Super fun. It's super cool to see like where gaming really was back then,
Hmm.
because it shows that the trends never really stop.
No.
Right, like back then they were even like, oh, we can make, oh, that movie's gonna do really well. We can make a video game off that movie, and it'll have to do just as well as that movie. And it just proves that's like the same mistakes are being made. Not so much anymore, though. I would say that not a lot of the same mistakes are being made when it comes to video game adaptations now,
Yeah.
which is nice to see because like for a while there, it was the battle royale craze that was kind of like, okay, are we gonna sink the ship with this now? Because like this is all there
Yeah.
is now.
Yes, they are going to, and that's what they did.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's just what it's literally what the gaming industry does, and it has always done. They find one thing that works, and then they beat it the fuck to death
to death.
until
Yes,
something comes out that changes it, and then they beat that the fucking death.
yeah, it's insane.
Yeah.
So that's my list, and I had to end it off with ET. I have a feeling you and I are gonna be watching a documentary soon. So
I am about it. I am so about it.
awesome. So for this episode, is there anything else you want to bring up? Anything you can remember, or anything at all?
Nah, no, I
Nah.
don't think so. I think we covered it pretty well.
All right.
And
Cool.
then the moment that we end it, we're gonna be like, "Fuck, we forgot about this."
Every time.
Every goddamn time.
Well, being that it is 2:30 in the morning,
It's actually 2:22 in the morning.
well, golly,
Uh,
whatever.
welcome. That
Welcome to
is
our lives.
that is why I have that tattooed on my leg because it's been what like 9 years since I got
Almost 10
that
years.
tattooed, and I still
Yeah.
see that consistently on
My
a
son was
pretty
born
much
on
weekly.
2/22,
Yeah,
20. 2/22/20. So that's a bit of funny stuff right there.
yeah, that's weird.
So, all right, everybody. Well, with that being said, we're stoked that you're still with us after our 2 week hiatus a
Yes,
couple weeks ago.
thank you
Um,
for hanging in there. We appreciates it.
thank you all for all the support on Twitter lately. By the way, like we try to update our Twitter and our YouTube. Now we're gonna be updating our YouTube more and our Instagram. Um, we're gonna be trying to keep up on the social medias. Um, we'll be sure to post links to our YouTube channel on Twitter, uh, Instagram, and in this episode. So just be on the lookout for that. There'll be fun videos, just us talking. And
Hmm.
then, like I've said before, we are going to be getting the room at Matt's house ready to be convert into the studio. So things eventually before the end of the year, if not start of the new year, is going to look different for the podcasts, look and sound.
Yeah.
Um, again, thank you everybody for the support. Please check out our buddies in, let's see, Yellowcast, Loser Podcast, Fat, Drunk, and Stupid, of course, What the Famicon, Diggity, and Grief Burrito. Always, always, always supporting those dudes. Um, and yeah, you know where to find me. You've heard it in the last 30 episodes. So just find me there if you want to talk to me. Matt?
No, just you can just tell us real quick for any new listeners. People who don't want to go through the back catalog. Just name off your service.
Flies.avi everywhere.
There you go.
Flies.avi. You
Um,
don't want to look at my shit. I'm boring, man. I'm boring.
please, please, please check us out on YouTube. Let us know what you think. Let us know what we can improve upon.
Yeah, please.
Please let us know. We would interested to hear your guys' feedback. Obviously it's a slow, steady progression,
Yeah.
and you always got to start somewhere. So please let us know what we can work on and improve upon. Um, Additionally, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at I think underscore PBFreak42.
That's probably.
Most likely. Um, I also have my own little YouTube channel you can check out that I post very irregularly to. Um, yeah, that's about it for me though. Not a whole
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna go try to find a copy of ET on eBay. That's what I'm
Good
gonna be
luck with
doing.
that. Yeah.
So, all
All
right,
right.
everybody. Well, that's it for this week. We will see you guys next week with another edition of the WASD and Beyond podcast. Thank you all for tuning in this week. Take it easy, everybody.
Later, gamers.